everyone. Here we are today. This is Digital Health Talks. This is Megan Antonelli. And our guest today is Monica Cepak, CEO of Wisp. I had the pleasure of meeting Monica a number of years ago, before the pandemic, about, at least 5 years ago. And there's been a lot of change to the market since then. So I'm excited to talk to Monica about what's going on at Wisp and women's health. Hi, Monica. How are you today?
Good. How are you? Great to be here.
Good.
Excited to tell you what's the latest and greatest at Wisp.
I know, me too. I'm so excited to hear it. And it's one thing to be in business for as long as you have, and it's another thing to be in women's health doing this for as long as you have. So tell us a little bit about, how you founded Wisp, what Wisp is, and kind of where you sit in that women's healthcare space.
Sure. So Wisp was founded back in 2018, actually, because we saw a really big gap in the market when it came to same-day episodic care for common vaginal infections. Think everything from a UTI to a yeast infection to a herpes outbreak, bacterial vaginosis, so on and so forth. And women at the time really didn't have many options to getting same day convenient care, right? If you got stuck with a UTI, you ended up in an urgent care center, or God forbid the ER, because you couldn't get an appointment with your primary care physician or OBGYN. And so Wisp was founded off of the idea that women shouldn't have to, quote unquote, whisper about their basic healthcare needs. Hence the name. People ask me that all the time.
I love it. I don't think I realized that.
Yeah. And over the years, we've built the largest women's telemedicine platform in the country, now serving close to 2 million patients across all 50 states and across all major life stages of a woman's health journey, from first menstruation all the way through to fertility, menopause, weight management, and everything in between, including, as of this year, at-home diagnostics. And what we've built is a seamless single sign-on experience for women so that they don't have to keep switching to multiple platforms to get the basic healthcare that they need. We are a cash pay business today, but what that means for patients is our services end up, in most cases, actually being cheaper than a copay, and we'll send a prescription to their pharmacy of choice in typically 3 to 5 hours, which is huge when you get stuck with a UTI or a herpes outbreak that you're trying to manage. So we're really proud of what we've built, and we're continuing to add new, really exciting products and services going into 2026, as well as thinking about how we build a more hybrid care system, which includes partnerships with hospital systems, brick and mortar clinics, so that we build that true end-to-end experience for women, so that they don't have to keep jumping around.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I think obviously getting an OB appointment is one of the hardest things women do. And
it's like, I think the average I recently saw was like 30 days. That's how long it takes to get an appointment with an OBGYN in our country today.
If you're lucky, in major metros maybe, but and so that's such a it is such a need, and born of such an important need, and obviously then grew timing wise. I've talked to a couple of telehealth companies recently that had founded just around that time, and then as with the pandemic, the growth of it has been great. Now, of course, post-pandemic and in kind of what happens with the regulations and all of that, there's been a lot going on. And you said you're in every state.
All 50. Yep.
Scaling like that must have been quite an effort. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that and how you did it.
Sure. So we were lucky in that we partnered with a great chief medical officer, Dr. Purdy at the time, who was licensed in all 50 states and really helped us scale early and very quickly. We've since built out our own in-house provider team. They're technically 1099 contractors, but very much feel like a part of the team. And today, I want to say we have close to 50 in-house providers, combination of MDs and NPs who help us fulfill on those SLAs that I mentioned. Combination of OBGYNs, ER doctors, family medicine practitioners, who are all trained on all of our medical protocols so that they can deliver care across the continuum of our product portfolio. And in terms of, scaling the business to where it's at today, we were very intentional with our growth strategy. We raised, for example, less than $2 million in primary capital and have been profitable for the past 5 years or so, which is somewhat unheard of in digital health. You see a lot of people raising significant VC capital, which is great, but then on the flip side, right, like your exit options are very limited. And you've seen a lot of people struggle because they haven't been able to turn that profitability corner. And we were very intentional when we were growing to spend dollars only where necessary to only hire the team members that were required at that stage of growth. Like even today, we're about 50 full-time employees. We're approaching about 100 million in revenue next year. So we're small and scrappy. Yes, we are going to be hiring. But I think it's such a testament to the team and being able to maintain that nimble agility that has helped us be first to market in a lot of product innovation that some of the larger players, like an Amazon clinic, like a Hims and Hers, maybe wouldn't necessarily be able to turn around as quickly. So like, for example, we had launched our menopause offering like a year and a half ago. Amazon clinic and Hers launched theirs this past year, only a few months ago, right? Like we were also the first brand to offer male BV partner therapy across the country 3 weeks after the study came out that said that actually the most effective way of treating women with recurring BV is to treat the male partner in the relationship. We won like Time 100 Best Invention of the Year for that. And so I think that's part of our secret sauce. We hire very intentionally. We only grow as needed, and we've been able to compete against some pretty big players. Our brand also is what I would say truly differentiated in that we lead with bold, unapologetic messaging. We lean into humor to destigmatize conversations around sexual and reproductive health. We were the first brand, for example, to have the word vagina featured on an ad in Times Square in the New York City subway system, and continue to push forward the conversation and also put pressure on marketing platforms to continue to equalize the playing field. We've made some progress, but every day I still get the notifications in my email. Your ad's been rejected. Your ad has been rejected. Meanwhile, ads for erectile dysfunction are
right. You can't get away.
Are like are everywhere you look. So
every show. Charlie Brown's Christmas, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
All good.
Mm-hmm.
All good.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I mean, I think what's been exciting over the last 5 years is that the dialogue has changed. Certainly menopause and women's health has gotten a lot of attention. Have you guys been able to sort of capitalize on the conversations that are happening? You said you launched. Tell us a little bit about the menopause product. We like talking about that on the show.
So we offer HRT therapy. The patch and a number of other hormone replacement options, depending on what's right for that specific woman. We also partnered with Stripes Beauty this past year, which is Naomi Watts's menopause brand. Her products are all natural, over-the-counter products in the menopause category. Things like lube and hair scalp and Badge of Honor, which is their hero product. So we found a way of partnering where we're selling some of their products on our site today. And then Stripes Beauty, which doesn't offer prescription medication, will refer patients essentially to Wisp who are looking for an RX treatment option, or just to speak to a provider about what their best path forward is. And yeah, it's been a growing vertical for us. We offer both async as well as sync consultations. So those consultations can fit within the busy lives of the women that we treat. And we're excited to keep adding to the product portfolio. We have a sleep supplement coming out next year, and a number of other products in the menopause space. They're a bit secret for the moment, but we take pride in custom formulating our OTC products, whether it's supplements or vaginal dryness cream or body wash that's pH balancing, for your vaginal health needs. And that's been a growing piece of the business for us. So yeah, menopause is a growing category for us.
Yeah. Naomi Watts, we hear so many celebrities have kind of taken on the cause, as they've come of age. Right. And we hear a lot about Halle Berry too, but Naomi Watts has she's partnered with a friend of mine, Melissa Ashley, who has an event, Women at Work, which I think is talks about kind of the impact of menopause on employment and work and productivity and how important it is for employers to get involved. I think it's great, and it's a testament to the need for the product that you've been able to survive and thrive outside of the insurance model. I think there's about 1 billion digital health companies that wish they could say the same. But when
we are looking at some payer relationships, like strategically, as we expand certain more complex categories, but we'll stay majority cash for the foreseeable future. And that's not just a business decision. It's actually what's best for the patient at the end of the day. Yes, cost is a factor, and we want to make sure that we're providing affordable options for our patients. But once you start adding insurance, there are additional wait times. The reimbursement landscape is very challenging, and so we've been able to grow as an exclusively cash pay business, and it's been beneficial for both the business. So
as you look ahead, in terms of, I think one of the things we look at with digital health, and one of the maybe unintended consequences of having these tailored products that really do meet, needs, in some cases niche, in some cases not so niche. Women's health is not exactly niche, half the population, but
more than half the population. I think it's 51% to be exact.
So, but as that comes, we've got products for mental health and for your women's health. And in some cases, of course, you're still going to your in-person OBGYN, and then there's a telehealth. So you're starting to get, some disruption or some lack of continuity between types of care. How does Wisp, and how do you see that changing over the next, few years?
Yeah, so at Wisp, we're really leaning into finding those points of synergy with hospital systems and with OBGYN clinics so that we can build a more seamless end-to-end experience for our patients, and ultimately facilitating the data sort of share back on those appointments so that we're able to provide truly holistic care for our patients, obviously in a HIPAA compliant way. And that's a big piece of our roadmap in 2026. So you'll hear more about that probably in the coming weeks. Ultimately, women already have to jump through so many hoops as it is. We want to make it easier. We know that there's only a certain amount of services that we can provide through the lens of telemedicine, right? We can't help you with your annual pap smear, but we can encourage you and refer you out to the right partner. Same with an IUD insertion and many other testing options, as well as more complex care. So we're really excited to find those points of partnership and build a more holistic end-to-end offering that really delivers on what women want and expect from the healthcare system. They don't want to jump around. We don't have time to remember, right, 10 different passwords and logins for like 20, right, like different systems and doctors.
But if you can find a supplement to help me with that,
so yeah, that's where Wisp is.
And as you look at those provider partnerships, what is that? What is the nature? What are what do you envision those looking like? Is it large systems or independent practices? What's the sort of
combination of both? Like, I think we'll start with the large systems, more complex, take longer to unlock. Like ER departments, great example. Like, they really shouldn't be spending their time and resources on women who can easily get treatment for a UTI through telemedicine or a number of other conditions. So being able to help them relieve some of the demand for in-person care, and then in turn, Wisp would be able to refer back to the hospital system for more complex care instances. So it ends up being a win-win. And yeah, we're looking at unlocking those first, and in parallel, also having conversations with smaller clinics, whether it's fertility clinics, OBGYN networks, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah. And as we look, I mean, as we said, lots of developments this year in that HRT is, sort of losing its black box warning. And that's big. There's also, in terms of the, Medicare announcements, lots of announcements coming out of HHS and CMS and kind of where digital health fits in that space. As you kind of look to the future of women's healthcare delivery, what gets you most excited? What do you see as the, kind of glimmer, silver lining and opportunities?
Yeah, I think I'm excited about pricing coming down, MFN, right? Pricing, I think that ultimately will benefit patients across the country. I'm excited about a renewed interest and appetite in supporting IVF more broadly in the country. I think that's incredibly important. I am excited about the administration's, I guess, support for digital health, as opposed to the traditional healthcare system that we know is very broken and corrupt in many instances. So giving patients the autonomy to empower them to make the best healthcare decisions for themselves and spending those dollars where they think they can get the best healthcare on the market, in many cases, right? That's digital health. I'm also excited about pricing coming down for GLP-1s. I think that's going to be transformational for women, and not just in the weight management category. There are a number of benefits from like a microdosing standpoint for longevity when you look at GLP-1s. And so we're developing some protocols around that. Longevity is one of our big bets in 2026. So we partnered with a company called Vesalius Labs. We'll be developing custom peptide stack for women. And I'm excited to also build some of the data and the data set from a clinical efficacy standpoint to be able to continue investing in that area. It's new. So anytime something is new, right? Like, there's natural skepticism around it. But we're very excited to be sort of at the forefront of that innovation and those conversations to ultimately give women more options for personalized care, right? What works for one woman might not work for another. And we're adding longevity to our portfolio because we think it's a really compelling offering for women who maybe haven't had success with specific prescription medication or supplements, or maybe, they they're just starting out on their journey and want to begin with peptide treatment. So yeah, there's a lot of really exciting developments in the space, and at Wisp, we really do pride ourselves on being first to market in many ways, and that's another example.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, no, I think it's really interesting. Just having a conversation earlier with Mina Lily from Lil Mixins, who does a product around allergies for children, right? So mixing peanuts and eggs into baby food, and just talking about kind of the science and the ability to respond to the science more quickly now because of the access that we have to the data. And I imagine with your 2 million patients, you're seeing such an incredible data set that you can see not only, what people want, but what's working for people.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, well, I know we're tight on time. You have a super busy schedule, and as the year comes to a close, but I'm so excited we were able to connect and reconnect and hear
likewise,
about
Megan,
the work that you guys have been doing. It's a great journey that you've been on, and we love to follow sort of female founders in this space, particularly working on women's health. So thanks so much for what you've done, and thanks for being here.
Thanks, Megan. Looking forward to the next conversation.